Hello, everyone. It is me, Chrissy Tina T, and welcome to the newly renamed Return to Writing. We are bringing back the old name because earlier in the year, this channel was originally named Return to Writing, and I have brought a return to that name by renaming Write With Me. I might make that into a stream title instead, I don't know. But we are turning that into Return to Writing because I am returning to writing my books. Okay, it's not that I hadn't written my books, but it's time to really focus on it. Because one of my goals for 2025 is to release a new book by the end of the year. It could be at any point in the year. But as long as I release a book, we are good. I mean, by we, I mean me. I am a one-woman show. I am my own team. So I have made a list of all of the books I've been working on. Don't know if you guys can see it. There you go. Yeah, yeah. That is all of the books I've been working on. Because even though I re-released Dark Pine Tales of Terror last year, and my first book was technically a poetry book, I have been working on many books these past couple of years, and some aren't even on this list. A handful have been shelved, but I decided to basically just list it in priority. So the ones I'm currently working on are Only in a Fairy Tale, which I am currently rewriting. Originally it was going to be YA fantasy, and then it kind of veered in a different direction, sort of into new adult. But then the story started veering where I didn't want it to go, so I started re-outlining it. But whole ramble aside, that was one of the books I was working on. Then there's There Can Only Be One, which is a slasher thriller. You can't see the poster, it's just off screen, but you've seen it in the background of my other videos. And that is a slasher thriller, which is currently 3 chapters in. And speeding through the list, you have Heart to Heart, which is the original draft for There Can Only Be One, which is 8 chapters in. A Deal of Deception, which was actually the second book I ever worked on, but never finished. It was one I shelved. That's a fantasy adventure that's 5 chapters in. We have Opposing Forces, which is, I want to say YA fantasy, but with some dark fantasy elements. That is 9 chapters in. And finally is The Crying Clown, which was going to be a middle grade horror series. Well, the start of a middle grade horror series called Creepy Crawlies, which is barely 1 chapter in. I need to plan it better. So then I made a second list, narrowed it down to 3. Okie doke. So, narrowed it down. And the three books that are furthest along are Heart to Hearts, again with 8 chapters in, Opposing Forces with 9 chapters in, and A Deal of Deception with 5 chapters in. So, granted, I am a mood writer, hence the reason most of these are still in the works, because I keep going back and forth between them. But I have decided, because going back to the list, as you can see, I circled Opposing Forces. So Opposing Forces is the one that I will be focusing on. And to help myself out, I already started making a little reference. I got like a whole pack of these for like, I think it was like $10, like $8 to $10 on Amazon. It was just a pack of these notebooks. I'm gonna be using them for reference. Because I like having something I could just pull up. I don't work multi-monitor, so I can't really just have like a digital setup. I like having physical things. Also, then I can just jot things down as I go. But then I also have the original edit copy that I made. That was only, I think, like 5 or 6 chapters in. Hang on. 6 chapters in. And since, obviously, I have done more. But I do also have that for reference for chapters I've previously written before adding in the extra chapters between. Because it's going to be alternating POV. So, because it's opposing forces. It's literally 2 different sides, 2 different families fighting for one piece of land that one currently owns but was technically taken from the other. So it's been like this long like battle between the families, basically to see who technically owns it. And sort of a story about breaking generational feuds and trauma and kind of finding your own path, creating your own thing, be finding yourself in a sense, because you have these characters of Kira and Malcolm, one being from the demon family that originally owned the kingdom and the land, and then you have Kira, who is the daughter of the current family in charge of the land, and she is human. So demons versus humans. So not only do we have opposing families, we have opposing, I guess, species, technically. But it's sort of older generations versus younger generations in clashing views, but also trying to put an end to something that needs to stop because people are getting hurt. So yeah, we're focusing on opposing forces. So what I want to do with this series, return to writing, very similar to what I was already doing with the series as Write With Me. And that is take you along the journey of writing these books, working on these books, but this time actually focusing on one book. And actually taking you further into it, trying to like work things out within the story and all of that. So I guess I hope you guys stick along. I hope you guys want to see more of this. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe. Links to all the ways to support me are in the description below. And also I have started adding chapter sneak peeks over on my website. I keep going back and forth between the screen and the webcam. I probably should have said this at the beginning. If you see me looking like weirdly to the middle, that's why. Still adjusting. New setup. My main laptop's over there, but I'm using my backup to record this year. So, we're trying out a bunch of new things this year. But I hope you guys stick along for the journey. I do have other things I want to do for the channel this year as well. This is just the start. And I hope you guys want to follow along as I make this into a real book. And no, this is not going to be the final cover. This was just something I quickly threw together in Canva. But yeah, no, I will be adding chapter sneak peeks to my website, which is, again, linked below. It's also linked in the channel. You will want to look at the Return to Writing page on that site, because the hub site has literally everything. So under Return to Writing, that is where all of the books and everything is. For anything writing related is there. You have my art section there for Shorter Than the Easel, comics, Chrissy Comics, game dev, Tiny Tabby Games, all of that under one roof. So yeah, no, keep an eye on there. I will be adding new chapters. I think Opposing Forces is up there. Actually, is it up there? I think I had the original 3 chapters up. Unless I had the chapters for, hang on, time. Phone. Or, like my phone is on the charger. It's on the charger. Hang on. Let me check my laptop. So if you ever wonder what I look like when I'm working, this is typically how things look. So let's see, sites. Return to Writing, which is the one I have a sample for up. There can only be one. So if you want the first, I think it's 3 chapters? No. Chapter 1 sneak peek. The Chapter 1 sneak peek of There Can Only Be One is up on my hub site under the Return to Writing handle. So under that tab, that's where you can find that. And I do have Opposing Forces up there as a sneak peek coming soon. Same with Only in a Fairy Tale, but Only a Fairy Tale might change, but eventually I will add Opposing Forces, since that is the one I will be focusing on this year. So if you guys are excited about this as much as I am, hope you stick around and are just as eager to see where this goes as I am. So yeah, see you in the next video. I guess bye. Bye for now.